Oh, hey there. Didn't see you. I'm Matto. You may remember me from such on-chain generative art projects like Enzo, Focus, and Blancs. Oh, you want to learn about Chainlife, my new project? Well, you caught me gardening, but I'll try to summarize it for you. This is a Chainlife token. Chainlife is an on-chain generative art mimics art, collectible and evolving game within a game. It's made of 4,096 individual, aware, and evolvable NFTs that are zero-player and single-player games. They respond to blockchain data more so than, at least most, other generative art collections, and together they form a large, collaborative game world that can be viewed in 3D. Sound complicated? It is, if you want to understand everything all at once. But a single Chainlife NFT is easy to appreciate without understanding it. You just click on it. Since the early days of NFTs, I've dreamt of creating art-based, interactive games on Ethereum. After years of work, that dream is becoming a reality with the launch of my on-chain platform and its genesis project, Chainlife. Chainlife tokens are artistic explorations of simple, two-dimensional cellular automata, just like John Conway's Game of Life. Oh, what is cellular automata? Well, you can think of one as like a field, with plants growing here and there. And depending on conditions, some new ones might grow, some others might die, and some others will survive. Instead of plants in a field, let's have a grid, and instead of the plants, we'll call them cells. Instead of seasons, cellular automata have cycles. Every cycle, the rules are applied to each cell, determining that cell's state, living or dead, for the next cycle. In this rule, we're counting the number of neighbors of live cells that every cell has. This process continues for every cycle, over and over. The most well-known cellular automaton is the Game of Life, devised by mathematician John H. Conway in 1970. Now, this is a Chainlife token when first loaded. This pattern of shapes in the center, those are the live cells. And this is what the cellular automaton looks like, cycle after cycle, using this token's rules. All tokens have access to the Game of Life rule set at mint, and as they mature, they gain access to other rule sets that control how the population of live cells change cycle after cycle. There's way too much specific interactivity and way too many symbolic icons in this project to cover in a single video. But instead, I want to focus on what makes Chainlife tokens extra special. You see, these tokens are more alive than other tokens. They know things that most other tokens are oblivious to. They know who owned them before. They know who owns them now. They know how many times they've been transferred between wallets. And they also know some specific on-chain data that their owners can set. They mature when owners transfer them between wallets or when an owner sets a level shift on-chain. Also, this pattern, the live cells at the beginning of each token, that changes too on every transfer. It's always a mathematical result of certain rules that are applied to the previous owner's address and the current owner's address. On one level, each Chainlife token is a deterministically changed or activity-driven zero-player game. Just trust me. But Chainlife tokens also allow a player to change the rule set that governs the cells during play between cycles. So on another level, Chainlife tokens are a single-player game as well. Matured tokens change how they look, they unlock new features and functions, and they even allow the use of custom rule sets. Rule sets that can be set on-chain by their owners or previewed in token by anyone. I know, I'm throwing a lot at you. And here's more. Remember how a single Chainlife token is a grid of cells that are governed by a rule, and we call this a cellular automaton, right? Well, here's another grid of cells. But each one is a Chainlife token. Every Chainlife token has coordinates in its metadata corresponding to its position here in the world view. And Chainlife tokens mature, and their maturity is stored on chain, right? Well, these maturity levels are also stored in its metadata, and when these levels are incorporated into this worldview, something amazing happens. This is a simulation of what the Chainlife world might look like shortly after mint. In this simulation, 4,096 individual tokens are randomly assigned a level between 0 and 16. In real life, these levels won't be randomly assigned, they'll be real-world, on-chain data. Not only will this be a cool data visualization tool to view the metadata levels of the component tokens, it will also allow study of particular levels and navigation to the individual tokens. Here is a specific token on a specific level, and various keystrokes allow different views and downloads of this information. One of the features is the ability to export this pattern and change it into a cellular automaton of its own. This feature, along with the owner ability to shift their token's level, allows individual owners to collaborate together and create playable patterns. Now, on a whole new level, the Chainlife project itself is a collaborative game. This worldview also illustrates that the Chainlife project is more than a collection of separate single tokens. It's an ever-changing game and an ever-changing 3D representation of the project's activity as reflected in each token's changing metadata. In a way, it's a metaverse of on-chain activity represented by on-chain assets, individually controlled by the owners. And to this specific end, there's additional pieces of metadata that I've included in every token that will allow a further exploration of this experimental world. Without going into detail, here's a proof of concept. I call it an Esoterra. This is an alternative render of a Chainlife token's on-chain data, using only a portion of what's available. And like a Chainlife token central pattern, here, this Esoterra height map changes on token transfer too. Here's a few other examples. These are random, but after mint, this proof of concept will reflect real-world, on-chain data rendered into 3D. Yeah, this is a complicated project with room to grow, one that I've been working on for over 2 years. There's a lot of other cool stuff in Chainlife too, some that's hard to explain, and some that's hidden beneath the surface, waiting to be dug up. But like I said before, it's easy to enjoy a single token without having to dig deep into the project. You just click on it. That would have been a really poignant ending, right? But I've still got more to say while I've got you here. Just as the Chainlife project is bigger than its individual parts, its impact will be as well. Forget the impact to me, the genesis of my game platform, any of that. Chainlife is going to have a positive environmental impact. The entire project, including all minting transactions that will happen, has already been carbon offsetted using third-party certified offset credits. After mint out, because this project encourages transactions, I'm going to use mint funds to buy a piece of bare land and grow a native forest. Hopefully one that's large enough to continually offset the project's carbon footprint forever. Maybe this sounds crazy to you, and I'll give you that. It is crazy, different. I'm really excited to start it. I'm happy that you're here. Bring your friends. I don't know what else to say, but I got work to do, so I'll catch you later.